saying the word stripper, but I was a dancer for a large part of my youth. I started when I was 17.
Is that legal?
I don't believe so, no.
9.5 million TikTok followers is crazy. You've come so far.
I was also selling Percocets and Adderall to my coworkers. And I was like, damn, these girls are making money. Let me try one.
You got pregnant at 17, gave birth at 18. How old was Thyri's father?
He was 29. I was fully dedicated, giving my daughter up for adoption until I gave birth to her and I seen her little foot in the incubator. And I looked at my Aunt JoJo and I was like, can I keep her?
Danielle and Thyri, welcome to the Unplanned podcast.
Hi, thank you guys for having us.
You both are so famous. How does that make you feel? You have hundreds of millions of views on TikTok, almost 10 million followers on TikTok. How does that make your family feel? Are they like, who are these famous people?
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of odd because I don't have a very strong family behind me. Like, I created my own family when I was very young. I left my home at a very young age. So my relatives, I think they're just like, okay, that's Danielle, just being Danielle. But my family, like my girlfriends that I created a family and kinship with, they're just like, Danielle, keep on going, keep rock and rolling, just keep being, I mean, they're amazed. They're just as amazed as I am at times. I'm like, who the hell are we? I'm sorry.
I also believe they've seen the transition of when you were 19 and you just had me to now.
Yeah.
So I think they're very, very proud of her.
Yeah, I think, when I go back home, I mean, I'm with them a lot, but they're always like, Danielle, like, I can't believe you went from this to that.
No, 9.5 million TikTok followers is crazy.
I know.
Have you ever looked at how many views you have? Because it's probably in the billions. It's probably a billion with a B.
No, it's not in the billions and a B yet.
Are you sure?
I think so, yeah. I think I'm like 400 million or something views.
Wow, but still though, that's insane. That's more than the population of the United States of America.
I don't think about those things. It's so weird. It's so weird. I mean, I could say the same thing for you guys. You guys have, you guys are well-established individuals. Like, you guys are not just coming out here with 100,000 views. You guys are well-established.
Well, you are too kind, but I want to talk about you guys. Thyri, you mentioned your mom's friends and community just rallying behind her and being proud of her. Like, do you feel the same way? Like, I'm sure seeing your mom go through what she's gone through and come out on top has probably been really inspiring.
I can't even explain how proud I am of her. We've taught each other. We grew up together. I don't know. I'm just so proud of her. She's came a long way. And
You want to tell them the time that we went to the strip club?
No. We went to the strip club. And
we didn't go to the strip club.
She was at the strip club. And I pulled up on her. I was like, I'm going to go. And they said satin. Can I say that? Okay, so
satin
backstory. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I used to be a night entertainer. I hate saying the word stripper or exotic dancer.
You're a dancer.
But I was a dancer for a large part of my youth, and I was hanging out with my girlfriends at the club that I used to work at. She was in Philly with her friends, and she decided that she was going to pull up on me and my friends.
You knew that they were there.
No.
Yes, I knew. And I was very intoxicated. And they're like, can I say that name? Yeah. Satin's in the building, blah, 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 blah. And I just start bawling, crying. Because, my mom came a long way. And she's in here, and they're, representing her and telling her how proud how proud they are of her. And I'm just like, yeah. You came a long way. Such a long way.
I have.
You were in there at 19, 20, 21, and I'm in there wow.
Yeah.
So you were a single mom, 19, 20, 21. What was that like? I mean, you mentioned that you were a night entertainer at one point.
Yeah.
There probably was a lot of pressure on you at that time.
There was, because I couldn't rely really on anybody. I did have my sister. Me and my sister are very, very close. But the pressures to provide for her, my nephew, and my sister all at once, it was a lot. But I didn't think anything of it because I grew up on survival. I left home when I was 16, so I knew everything about providing and surviving. I didn't know the enjoyments of life if that makes any sense.
How old were you when you started dancing?
Oh, so I started when I was 17.
Is that legal?
No, I don't believe so, no.
How did they?
But it was like one of those hole in the walls.
So they just didn't even check. They were just like, oh, you look like you're an adult, so we're not going to check your ID to make sure that you're legally an adult.
Yep.
And was that before or after you found out you were pregnant with Thyri?
Oh, this is before I found out I was pregnant with my daughter.
And you left home at 16, so was that kind of the way you thought, okay, I need to afford rent, I have to afford groceries? How did you end up in that situation?
So, no, it didn't happen quite like that. It was just, I met my child's father, and he and I talked intensely about, I wanted to be an actress, I wanted to be a model, and he was like, I can make those dreams work for you. And I was just a young, naive little girl listening to Sweet Nothings, and I got to Philadelphia. I was working at Burger King, and I just felt, I was just treated unfairly. And my child's father was like, oh, this is my cousin. He introduced me to his cousin, and then she was pulling out wads of money, and I was like, hey, like, where did you get that? Because I need to get the hell out of my boyfriend's sister's house.
Yeah.
And she was like, I work at the rum keg, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm going to go. So Sean was like, I can take you. And that's how I was introduced to the world of nakedness.
And you did that for years.
I did that for years.
How do you now look back on that like period of time? Is it something that you're like, I did what I had to do, or okay?
I don't regret it. I think that it taught me a lot of values of life that I wouldn't have if I didn't have that, because I didn't have well-rounded women in my life growing up. So I did meet the sisters that I have today. I met a lot of people that are irreplaceable in my life today because of that environment that I was in. And there's something about that industry that teaches you about life that life cannot just teach. Am I making sense?
You are.
No,
It
totally.
seems like you learned
It grew
the
you
hard
up,
way.
probably.
It did.
a lot.
It really taught me valuable lessons of character and like purpose and things like that.
Did working in the industry, dancing, did that create distrust for men in your life?
No.
It didn't. How did you view the people that would come to the club?
As human beings that just needed some sort of interaction with people because they lacked it everywhere else. A lot of the people that you met were just regular people that just wanted to talk. It wasn't a lot of sexual tension every time that you interacted with somebody. Men just, and women, wanted to just be heard.
So the people coming to these strip clubs really are just lonely, is
They're
what
lonely.
you're saying.
There's a lot of people that are just lonely. A lot of people have this idea of horny people, and they're not. They're just lonely. Yeah, there are horn dogs that come in, but for the most part, they just really want to talk.
Were you ever worried like about your safety?
I was always worried about my safety, but I did have security, would always walk you in and out. But I've never been attacked. I've never been followed home. I don't have any kind of war stories, which I know that they're out there. I was just very privileged and blessed to not have to worry about those kind of things.
Wow.
You threw me for like a reverse Uno card there. I was like expecting the conversation to go one way.
Yeah, we're like, I'm gonna call your mom, and then she's like, can I tell you about the time I went to the strip club?
Yeah.
And I was like, where's the connection here?
Yeah, because he was like, how
Totally
proud
get it
are
out.
you?
Yes.
And then it's
Yeah.
like, she like just was immersed by the emotions that my still then DJ was like.
Same person.
Same DJ.
Same DJ.
Wow.
Yes, there's a lot of bartenders are still there in the industry and, still thriving.
That's funny. Did you like fully intend for it to be like a funny thing, like, hey mom, and then it just became like a whole
An emotional
moment for you?
moment.
I was just going. I was just like, let me just go. She's like, I'm gonna leave. It's a whole different type of conversation that I definitely misinterpreted. But I came and I was just like sitting there, and everyone just like tossed me water. I was so intoxicated, and as soon as they said it,
all my girlfriends were like,
they like threw water at me, and I was like, okay. So they said she was in the house, Satin's in the house, Satin's here, and I'm just like, it just hit me. Like, my mom really came like a really long way. And I'm just so proud of her.
Yeah, it's because you hear me talk about that part of my life, and I'm very open with Thyri as soon as she was able to comprehend what my life was like when she was a child. But I talk to her about it all the time, and I think being there in that moment, she was like, oh shit,
Like, it's real. This really
she
happened.
was really Satin. Like, people are coming up to me like, hey Satin, oh my god, we miss you, and da 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 da. And she's like,
And for someone that doesn't know your story, when you say your mom came a really long way, what do you mean by that?
So my mom had me when she was 18. And I don't really like saying that I don't remember my childhood much, because I don't. But when I mean that she came a long way is that she didn't really come from much. She came from...
oh, geez, I know. I'm joking.
She wasn't educated with a lot. So, you know, she was also like doing drugs. I don't know how to like word it without like being like,
be as raw as you need to be. We've had these conversations in private. There's nothing that you could say out here in front of the world that you have not said to my face. So it's okay.
I know, I just am scared. Okay. Let me think about how I want to like say. So she came from nothing. Sorry, you didn't. She wasn't educated with a lot. She didn't have someone to help her in any way when it came to, you know, how to parent, how to be a better woman, just a person overall. She had to grow a lot on her own. And she had a community, you know, you had your girlfriends, you had your sister, you had etc. But I feel like we grew up a lot together, and I seen the really raw, hard sides of her that a lot of people didn't see. So our communication, the way that you taught me when you really didn't know much growing up, or you weren't taught that, you actually took the time out of your life to actually learn like how to treat me as a human being. So not being treated as a human being and learning how to treat someone as a human being, I think it's a lot. You know, I feel like I'm not making sense.
That totally makes sense.
You're making sense.
And Danielle, you mentioned in a TikTok that there was a time where, you know, you were a scared 17-year-old girl and you thought you were going to put your daughter up for adoption.
Yeah.
What changed your mind? What changed your mind to keep Thyri and to be a mom?
Her foot, and I can send you guys the picture because my aunt finally sent me pictures of it. It was her foot. I was fully dedicated on giving my daughter up for adoption, and it wasn't because I didn't love her or feel anything for her. It was because I was scared. I didn't know if I was able to be or provide for her the way that I knew she needed. But yeah, my aunt was like, hey, I will take on that responsibility. This way she'll still be in the family and you don't have to worry about anything. You could still see her whenever you want. We'll let her know exactly who you are. And it was all good and glory until I gave birth to her and I seen her little foot in the incubator. And I was like,
that's my daughter.
That's my daughter. I think I want to keep her. And I looked at my Aunt JoJo and I was like, can I keep her? And she was like, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely. And I kept her. It was a hard road for me, but I still was like, I'd rather have done it with you than without you.
I have chills right now.
Was Thyri's father at the birth?
No, he came the day after. Yeah, he came the day after. I'm like, yeah, he came the day after. I drove to Philadelphia the day before to pick him up, but he stood me and my sister up. So I came back home. She wasn't due until the 5th. So when I woke up on the 3rd and I went to the bathroom and my water broke, I was like, oh, it's time. And that's how that happened. But then he showed up the day after.
And remind me, you got pregnant at 17, gave birth at 18. But this entire time, how old was Thyri's father?
He was 29.
How'd y'all come to meet?
I was living with my brother because I left home at 16, and he was a neighbor upstairs. He was a visiting neighbor.
So was that?
I
I'm trying to process that.
You're like,
Yeah.
it's incredible that you've come along this far. Like, you've come so far. You've come so far.
I'm just like, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know how I did it.
And that's why I'm proud of you.
Aw, we're all proud of you.
Thank you. I don't know. I just knew I didn't want what was presented to me. I didn't want what I grew up with. I didn't want my daughter looking or feeling the way that I felt. I didn't want me struggling and feeling inadequate in an area that should be so natural. It's terrifying. Parenting is terrifying and it's very unknown, but I shouldn't be like bad at it. And I'm not saying that my mom was bad at parenting, but she didn't instill a lot of good qualities.
Thank you to Smalls for sponsoring this episode of the Unplanned podcast. We found out recently that our sister-in-law and my brother have been making eggs for their stray cat that lives in their backyard. And so we decided to send them Smalls, which is preservative-free cat food sent right to your door, made with real ingredients that you would actually find inside your fridge.
This is actually a really cool brand, you guys, because it started back in 2017 with just a couple of dudes that were literally making home-cooked fresh meals for their friends' cats in small batches. And now it's just a few years later and they're serving millions of kitties across the US. They have quite the business going.
Honestly, I'm excited to see my brother and sister-in-law's cat next time we're at their house, because I'm sure their cat's going to be...
Shadow is thriving.
Shadow's going to be stoked.
Shadow is thriving. Shadow has the chicken and the turkey. In case you're a skeptic like me and is sitting here just like, well, why can't we just give the cat freaking kibble? No, Smalls says, believe it or not, your cute kitty descended from ferocious desert cats who hunted live prey for food, and your cat isn't any different. They still need fresh, protein-packed meals to be at their very best. So treat your kitty right and try Smalls. What are you waiting for? Give your cat the food they deserve. Head to smalls.com and use promo code Unplanned at checkout for 50% off your first order plus free shipping. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use my code Unplanned for 50% off your first order. One last time, that's promo code Unplanned for 50% off your first order plus free shipping.
Were your parents aware that you were, spending time with this guy, or that you were...
My mother wasn't in my life at this point.
So they
did she kick you out, or did you choose to leave because of problems at home?
She kicked me out when I was 16, and I never went back.
What happened?
Long story short, do you want this particular incident, or do you want years of trauma before? Because my mom didn't have the tools that she needed to raise biracial children, and she took a lot of her frustrations out on me and my siblings. And
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It is what it is. Unfortunately, I wish that she had the proper tools to raise children, and she wasn't. And I don't fault her for it. I don't hate her for it. I do place her, and I compartmentalize her in a place in my life where I have her. She's involved, but she's not in my day-to-day life.
So you still have contact with her?
I do. I try to reach out to her at least like once a month to make sure that everything is good. And we do have a family group chat. But
when you say she wasn't equipped to raise biracial children, what does that mean for someone who doesn't really understand what you're saying?
So back in the day in Maryland, biracial children wasn't really accepted. The black community didn't want to accept you because you had a white mom, and the white community really didn't want to accept you because you had black children. And my mom fell in dead set in the middle, like she's a white woman with black children, so it's like she's being shunned from everywhere. And I think she just took her frustrations out on me. So what it looks like is her being shunned and her taking it just out on us, like beatings for no reasons, or being called slurs that is very inappropriate to call your children just because you don't understand why life looks the way that it does for you. And she didn't properly teach me how to appreciate my black culture. She didn't teach me how to lotion or do my hair or anything. I went to school 9 times out of 10 with very matted hair, very matted hair, not lotioned. And I feel like there was a part of my life and my siblings' life where I feel like just being Black was just not okay. You know, there was a lot of jokes that went on, inappropriate songs that me and my siblings sang. It looks very racist. And I don't want to say that my mom was racist. I think that she just was trying to maybe not making excuses for her, but I think when she did have her friends and her circle of her white friends, I feel like she wanted us to perform to maybe have jokes for their entertainment. So they're like, see, you see what I have my Black kids doing?
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And that's back in the day, and she's no longer like that. And her and I have had these conversations, and I'm just like, Mom, that was a little hurtful. And she does acknowledge, you know, where her mental state wasn't perfect. And but I mean, she's come a long way. She has come a long way, and I think filtering wasn't a big thing back then. You know, back today, if you said any of those things, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
no, that's not right. That's a little offensive.
Yeah.
And now she's aware of that, but back then she was not. There's layers to it. You know what? Sometimes I'm listening and I think back, and I'm like, wow, Danielle, girl, you survived that.
Well, because it didn't come easily. Like, it's felt like you probably, I don't know, I'm like imagining like you had to swim upstream, you know, because if you were to continue with like, I don't know, doing what was you needed to survive, but not necessarily like push further to like thrive, it would have been so easy to go a completely different direction. And it takes one person in the family, like the mother or, you know, someone, an adult figure, to change that trajectory. And like you fully did that.
Yeah,
and
did,
that,
absolutely.
I feel like to understand that part of it, there's all these, you know, layers, whatever you're comfortable talking about, of course. But when you were pregnant in 17, like I'm imagining myself 17, literally
Babies. Just you're a
children.
baby.
Did your mom know? Like, did
She
you
did.
call her?
She did. She actually drove up to Philadelphia. She's the one who told me I was pregnant.
Oh.
My sister was staying with me at my apartment for the summer, and she was like, she came to pick my sister and my nephew up. Excuse me. And she was like, "You're pregnant." And I was like, how do you know? I mean, I already took a pregnancy test because I already knew, but I didn't tell her. She was like, "You're pregnant." And I was like, how do you know? She was like, "You have a double heartbeat in your chin." And I was like,
Oh, never heard of that.
I was like, I did just take a pregnancy test and I am pregnant. But yeah. I mean, there was no, hey, I'm going to help you. Hey, nothing.
Was she mad? Was she happy? How was she reacting?
I don't know. She just, nothing. It wasn't like really excitement. It wasn't anything. There was no.
how did
joy.
you feel at that time? Did you comprehend
I think I was just desensitized from. I think I was always desensitized, so I don't think that I thought anything of it. I just was like, okay, well, I'm pregnant, and this is what it is. It wasn't like I felt some type of way that my mom wasn't joyous that I was bringing a little bundle of life in the world. So I think I just was like, okay.
At what point did you decide in the pregnancy? It was like right at the beginning that you're like, I don't think that, like, I'm too overwhelmed with the thought of caring for this child.
I think it was when I found out. Can I talk about your father?
Of course.
This is around the time that I found out he was cheating on me. And I was like, I can't do this alone. Like, no, I can't. I'm losing the apartment. And my sister had to come pick me up from my apartment because I was being evicted. And yeah, I just was like, I can't do this.
Were you aware at that time that he had other children?
I did. I knew about 2 of his children. I knew about Sean, and then I knew about his other daughter. And then I found out like maybe 6-7 months after she was born of the other children.
Was his wife the one that told you? Was he the one that told you?
So his ex-wife did try to tell me about the other children, and so did his sister. But I just was like, nah, he wouldn't lie to me about that. And yeah, he did.
And she was his ex at the time, or they were married at the time?
They were still married.
They were still married.
Sean and I were together, they were still married. They were not officially divorced yet.
Okay. And so after she found out that he got you a 17-year-old girl pregnant, was that when she filed for divorce?
She did. she was like, I gotta jump off this ship. But they were never going to get back together. Like her and I've had this conversation, but she was like, this has to be done. I don't care if I have to pay for it all on my own. But yeah, she divorced him after that.
Thyri, what's it like?
And
yeah.
She didn't know I was 17 because I was still lying.
She didn't know.
Because he told me to tell his sister that I was 18. And when I found out I was pregnant, and I had to tell, well, she was there. She was like, you're 17. That's when she told me that Sean was still married and he was 30. That's when everything started colliding together.
Did law enforcement get involved with this?
No, because 16 is legal.
Really? For marriage, I guess? Or
for
consent.
Consent. Yeah, 16 is yeah.
Really?
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Is that a state by state thing? Because I don't think that's.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's state by state.
I think it is, but I think it's nationwide.
I just don't think a 16-year-old should be able to be intimate with a 30-year-old man.
No.
And that to be allowed.
It
know?
is very allowed, and it's 16 is consensual age.
So how did you have those conversations then when you had a 16-year-old daughter?
Oh gosh, we've had these conversations. I taught her from like 4 with appropriate touch, appropriate conversations, misleading conversations, sweet nothings. I talk to her about it all the time, but when she was like 17, I was like, wow, Thyri, like I'm so proud of you. I'm like, look at you, you're flourishing, you have this bright future. And she was like, I know, but like, look at you. Like, yeah, at 17, I was wobbling around. Well, I wasn't wobbling yet, but it was, we just had many conversations about men. And I think I've had this conversation. I mean, we've talked about my fear of an older man getting his hands on her. And it was a legit fear because it happened to me. So I would always tell her, there's nothing an older man has in common with a 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old girl. There's nothing. I don't care how grown he thinks that you are. There's nothing. And there's an issue with that man. Like, it's disgusting to think about. Like,
isn't it crazy too how at 18 automatically you're an adult but your brain isn't fully developed until your mid-20s? Isn't that fascinating?
It's fascinating to me.
Why are we allowing even an 18-year-old to have like be able to make that decision? Like their brain isn't fully developed.
Nope, at all.
And I understand, like it's tricky, right? Because you can't just have a parent making decisions for 18-year-old, 19-year-old. Like at a certain point, you need kids to make decisions for themselves. But man, it's wild how much kids are able to do on their own. I mean, you moving out at 16. Yeah,
and it was just natural.
I feel like that shouldn't be allowed. Like I
shouldn't.
And thank goodness you've come so far, and you've I don't know. Sorry, I'm like ranting right now.
It's a survival thing. I've always called myself a survivor. I will always be a survivor. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I survived anything like crucial, but I'm surviving life. Like I would always have a survivor mentality.
Is it weird to hear these conversations about like you as a baby when you're a full-grown 21-year-old adult woman now? Is that weird to...
22.
22. You're almost 22.
Next month, yeah.
Let's go.
Not really. She's told me everything, like, since I could even remember, like, since I can process whatever happened. Like, she's told me. And I don't really know.
So, like, how do you feel when you read comments saying that you're going to feel upset?
Never.
Or like...
It doesn't change anything. Anything you've ever said or like told me never changed anything. Yeah.
So you'll get comments on TikTok from people saying, you sharing about the origin story of how you had your daughter is going to ruin her.
Yeah, that I get that a lot.
And how does that make you feel reading something like that?
It doesn't bother me.
Because the outcome
it's not true. I don't feel that way. Nothing that my mom has told me or done has made me feel any type of way. So when people comment like, you know, like your mom did this, like you're going to turn out like this or whatever they say, I'm just like, no, I'm not. I know I'm not.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that people say online that are just completely off the rails and just you don't understand how people could come up with something like that?
They will
List.
You got a list.
Yeah. And you know, it takes a lot for me to like not want to like go to jail, but then I'm so serious. It's like it, and I think this is the only thing that will ever make me like go crazy is when people will call my mom a crackhead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for using that word, but they'll be like, I am recovering from eating. Like, yeah, like you're a fat, blah, 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 and your mom's a crackhead. Like, in that stuff, like that's the only thing that can actually like make me go crazy. But
Why do they say those things?
I think I think because they know that that's something that, you know, you struggled with, and she's talked about it, and she's like, I hit rock bottom before I did this, I did that,
Yeah.
and they like to use that against her. I feel like, and they know it's gonna like,
What do you think?
they think.
So
think
people
a lot of-
online know that your mom, you know, I think it was 13 years ago, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
was using pills. And,
Yeah, they
and she
know.
stopped about 13 years ago. So, which by the way, yeah, let's give it up. 13 years
Yes.
sober from pills. That's awesome. Did I say that right? Sober? Is it sober? Is that the right term?
Yes.
For that?
Yes.
It's not just for alcohol. But yeah, I mean, that's awesome. But they try to get to you. They'll try to
so
they'll try to
bad.
call you a crackhead.
They
You've
do.
opened up about your eating disorder. So they'll call you. They'll literally say like
They
the
say
most
I'm
awful
pregnant.
things.
Yeah.
Oh
They do.
my gosh.
It's weird, and I'm just like, I shared it with you. You think that I'm ashamed of it? Like, you can't
Yeah.
use something I willingly shared with you to hurt me, because apparently I'm at a place in my journey where I feel comfortable. I'm not ashamed. I know what I've came from. I know what I
Healed.
endured. I've healed. So when I see those comments, and I see them a lot, because I feel like our page is very controversial to people that don't want to look at parenting different or communications or relationship differently.
Why is it controversial?
Because how I raised my daughter, where I allow her a safe space to communicate. I allowed her a space where she can own her individuality. I've allowed her a place to tell me her uncomfortabilities. And I push that. And I want everybody to understand that all because you're a parent, you're an adult, does not mean that you're right, and your children aren't owed a version of you that is hurtful or harmful. Like, parents' behaviors can be very harmful, and I push that, and I get a lot of heat for it. And they're like, "Well, you're a crackhead. Like, I'm not taking any advice from a crackhead. You are a stripper. You're using all the stuff that I told you."
Yeah.
Like, why don't you kick rocks? Oh, excuse me. Why
Truthfully.
don't you kick rocks? I don't care about your opinion, and it's not going to change the truth. You can be outraged, you can be angry, you can yell, scream, shout. It does not change my truth. It does not change the outcome of who I am. It's not going to change the outcome of me presenting on social media. It's not going to change anything. So whatever you say, it does not affect me.
And it also doesn't define who you are.
It does not define who I am.
And that's your past, and that's 10, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
They think that you are still that person that
Yeah.
you were.
Yeah.
They think that you can't grow from that or change or become
Yeah.
a better person from that.
Yeah.
And that's sad on their behalf.
It is, because they don't believe in growth, and you can see it from them.
She's
Sorry.
angry.
I am.
Oh, you're good.
It literally, that's the only thing that can make me like crash out.
Seriously.
She's like, I will find you.
I will.
Thank you to Revolve for sponsoring this portion of today's episode.
Abby was showing me all the dresses on the Revolve website, and they are stunning. They are so stunning. She actually had me pick out what I wanted to see her in, which made me feel very honored.
Only problem is I didn't order what you picked out.
Oh.
But I did
Wait.
get a spicy outfit that I think you're really gonna like. If there's one brand I trust to help me find a night out outfit, it is Revolve, you guys. They have the coolest concert fits. Like, they're really known for that.
Yeah.
They have really high-end, unique designer pieces that are just cool, you guys. And they help you find exactly what you're looking for, which is what I did. Revolve has over 1,200 brands and 100,000 styles to choose from. They have inclusive sizing from extra, extra small to 4X. They also have personalized product recommendations based on your purchase history and favorite products and brands. You're going to find what you want with Revolve. I know I've had an amazing shopping experience with them, and I feel very trendy. From last minute getaways to party dressing and seasonal upgrades, Revolve has you covered with fast 2-day shipping and easy returns all on them. And for a limited time, you can shop a curated selection of my favorite styles at revolve.com/unplanned and receive 15% off your first order with code unplanned. That's revolve.com/unplanned to shop my top picks and get 15% off your first order with code unplanned. Offer ends April 6th, so don't miss out.
With the pills, did that start while you were working as a dancer?
Mm-hmm.
And did someone try to push them on you for some reason?
So I tried it when I want to say 20. I tried a perk, and I didn't touch perks again until I was like 21, 22, because I was also selling Percocets and Adderall to like my fellow coworkers. And I was like, damn, these girls are making money. Like, let me try one. And then that was where I jumped off. I was like, pop, 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 pop. I just take the perks, and I was content. And
what is it about it that makes it so addictive?
I don't know exactly what makes it addictive, but I do know for me, it just felt good not having to know that I'm in a place where I consciously knew or unconsciously knew I didn't really want to be. I didn't want to be on a stage taking my clothes off. I didn't want to be away from my kid at night. I knew I didn't want to be in these places. So that helped me cope with being in environments where I didn't want to be.
You needed an escape.
I did.
Yeah.
And then it was like, now I realize that I need one when I wake up, or go to church, or go to the food store, or like or if I have lunch. I adopted this personality of I had no personality if I didn't take perks. So I was like, okay, I'm about to go meet up with you for lunch. Let me pop a perk, because then I feel like I'm engaging, I'm fun, I'm entertaining. And all along, I'm nodding off, I'm slurring my words. I'm just not, I felt it's shameful.
You had no personality.
I had no personality. I was a perk.
What was the moment over 13 years ago that made you decide, I'm done with Percocet, I'm done with pills, I'm giving that up?
Yeah. It took me a very long time to forgive myself, and thank you for my therapist. Me and my then boyfriend got into an argument, and I was intoxicated with her in the car. I picked her up from the babysitter, which I know it's very shameful. I'm already feeling ashamed about it, but I'm okay. I left her in the car sleeping in the middle of the night, and she woke up in the middle of the night, and my car alarm went off, and I realized that I forgot my kid in the back of the car. Yeah, like I think about that. April 11th, I can never forget about it.
April 11th.
April 11th.
2011. Okay, 2011.
And
so it's almost been 14 years.
Yeah, coming up. Yeah. So, and then that was the day I never touched a perk ever again.
So you were like 9 at the time?
I think 8. Well, yeah, you just turned 9.
Yeah, April 3rd. Yeah.
Okay. So you probably remembered that then. You don't remember
I
it.
don't.
You don't even remember that?
I don't remember that.
I
remember like an incident of you in the gas station, and I got out the car like, where are you at? But like not, I don't remember that specific incident. Like I don't.
So you like, since you were so young, you don't have any memory of your mom on pills. That's not something that you remember from your childhood.
I want to say that she did a really good job hiding that from me.
So I think a lot of people have this misunderstanding of people and moms that do drugs. It's not like we're doing it in front of our children. And I think that
never seen it.
A lot of parents do partake in drinking, or like it's so crazy because I never even drank at home in front of Thyri. But a lot of people just assume that parents that do drugs are doing it in front of them, and that's not the case. Like, we hide it. And I think I was just mom to her, and not an addict. So she still went to church. I still took her to school. I still cooked breakfast, lunch, dinner. I think that she has a different perspective of that reality. But yeah, but I think you do. We talked about when you went away for like 2 weeks when I was in recovery.
When I was with.
Oh, you did. You
my
went away
sister.
with like your sister.
No, so she went to my sister's house.
Okay.
My dad stayed with me for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I can get everything out my system, and then, yeah.
And he stayed with you to make sure that you weren't touching any more pills.
I never wanted to touch a pill after that. I like he stayed with me because he knew I was going to get sick. He knew that I needed to nourish. He knew that I needed to hydrate. He knew I needed prayer. He knew I needed a support system. I cried a lot, and I needed that. And he was there.
Was your dad?
Like, can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
How? I always have
Thank you.
questions. I'm sorry.
She does.
I'm question free. I had like 20 questions. I'm like, I'm not the podcaster. I cannot ask. How did you like get over that? Or you can ask that for her. 'Cause I'm like, how
No,
did
you're
you?
good. You
how
asked
did
it. You're
like,
the interviewer now.
How did you like stop beating yourself up about that? I mean, I know you still kind of do, but like, how did you forgive yourself?
I seen you.
Yeah.
I seen who you are, and I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, I see who I am. I think I've forgiven myself more so today than I did yesterday. Like every day, I see myself, and I might not give myself a lot of praise every day, but I do. I internalize like how far I've come with my journey, and I'm happy and I'm proud of myself. So that's how I'm still on the journey of forgiving myself fully, but I see me.
Good.
I
love that.
also see you're an amazing kid, man.
Don't make me cry.
Like you are. You're just incredible. You impress me every single day, and
Thanks to you.
and I want to give myself high fives for that. So
You should.
I couldn't be that bad.
You weren't. You weren't bad at all.
Thanks.
It's so cool seeing your guys' relationship. I'm also really, really close with my mom. And I also consider my mom like one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And I can definitely feel that. Like you guys just seem like the best of
That's
friends.
my best friend.
Yeah, that's
And
my
I love that so much because I honestly feel like that is almost a controversial thing as a parent to be friends with your kid. Because I do hear that a lot. And I think of like even people that I'm like, I respect their like most of their opinions as a person, but they're like, my kid is not my friend. That's a thing that is said a lot.
Yeah.
Like, what do you say to that?
Oh gosh, your kid doesn't have to be your best friend, but at some point your kid has to like you. You have 18 years to make your case with your kid. You do. Like you have 18 years to prove that you're worthy and you can also be a friend when they decide to start their own life. So I'm just giving 18 because that's technically when your child is an adult, but you literally have a short time to like make them your friend. I don't like when people say that you can't be your kid's friend, because I think it's a load of crap. I think you can be your kid's friend, but you also have to be a parent as well. So I wasn't always her best of friend. I wasn't always her friend. I had to set the groundwork. I had to set the tone. And I did correct her, but I was firm, but I wasn't mean. And I think a lot of people have this idea that if you're your friend's kid, you just let them
do whatever they want, or I can say whatever I want to her.
Yeah, and that's not the case. Because
You're like, I love that.
it's not. And I try to respect people's opinions. Like, oh, I don't want to be my kid's friend. I love Michelle Obama. She's another one who's like, my kid is not my friend. And I'm like, but they do. They want to be your friend. I mean, I think they want to be your friend, but
Yeah.
Was that the first time that your dad came into your life 13 years ago when you gave up pills?
no. Well, kind of. Growing up, I was raised by a single mom. And my mom put the fear of God in me with my father. Like, she came up with these crazy stories about, and I can't say that they're false or true. I can't, because they both have different recollections of what happened and how their relationship was. But growing up, I feared my dad because I thought that he was this evil man. So growing up, I didn't have him. And I met my dad again when I was 22. So around the time, I want to say, yeah. So around the time, I barely really knew him. I don't know how to answer this, but yes, we barely knew each other at that point when he came to help me get sober.
Was it his idea to stay with you 2 weeks to make sure that...
It was my stepmom. Rest
stepmom.
in peace, Mom Renee. It was her idea.
For him to stay with you?
Yeah, because my dad also suffered from alcoholism. So she knew that somebody needed to be there.
And he was able to beat that?
Oh, yes. My dad is still sober to this day. He got sober 100 years ago. I don't know how
That's amazing.
sober he is, but...
He must be really old.
No, he's only 63. But yeah, so my dad did suffer from addiction as well in his heyday. And she understood that somebody needed to be there. And who better than another addict?
What's it like to deal with withdrawal? It must have been obviously you having the emotional desire to quit the pills after the incident with your daughter in the car, you probably were like, I don't freaking care how hard this is. I'm going to figure it out. Care. But it must have been really freaking hard.
It was hard. Like the stomach cramps, the vomiting, the sweats. It just sounds like typical. This is what you see on TV. That's not what you go through. Like, it's really intense. Like your body just feeling like broken.
Because it needs it. It's almost like reliant on the pill.
I need it now. And then you feel a little out of yourself when you get over that. It's like a fog feeling. I can't explain it, but it's like you're in your body, but you just, a hangover feeling. You know that hangover feeling? But it lasts for like weeks. You're just like, like I feel outside of myself. I'm not intoxicated, but I just feel out of myself, out of sorts. So,
Isn't it funny how some people feel like they need to make themselves perfect before they have kids, but having kids was the thing that made you figure life out? It was kind of the wake-up call you needed to get things together, and you took an untraditional path, but it's funny. Like, I've heard some people say, oh, get married young because it'll make you grow up real fast. And we got married young, and I have friends that also got married young, and for them it didn't work out. For us it did work out, but like, it's hard. But then you kind of something happened on your untraditional path that led you to where you are today.
I always felt that I was meant for something greater, and I know it sounds cliche, but I knew I was meant for something phenomenal. And it might have not been traditional, but it's my path, my journey.
Okay, so you said that like your escape was from dancing and etc. Anything that was it anything that have to do with like being a mom? Like, did you ever
feel like I needed to take pills because of
like
parenting?
Yeah.
No. Like I've said before, you've always been an easy challenge for me, and don't take it the wrong way, but you've always been such a light in my life, and you've always been just easy to look at and deal with and process and all the good things when it came to parenting. So no, I never had to get high to deal with you. You never have been a reason why I wanted to escape to my reality, ever.
Has there ever been a time like within the past 13 years that you ever wanted to like go back to taking pills?
No, I never ever wanted to ever relapse or take pills, but there has been moments where I'm just like, you know what, this would have been just easier if I just had a pill, because I don't want to deal with this right now. But I never was like, I'm so close to just making that call or finding it, or I never had that desire, because I always remember that feeling of being high, and it was awful, like just awful. So no, it's not just a black and white question.
Yeah.
So there's been moments where I'm just like, it just would be easier if I just was high, so I don't have to deal with it. But have I ever wanted to be high again?
Crave it.
No, I never craved to want to get high ever again.
If it's okay if I intrude, I wonder if there's been a healthy way
I feel like
that you have found. Oh, you're good. That you have found to escape with. Is there a new way that you have found that is healthy to escape from the struggles of life that doesn't involve drugs, that doesn't involve alcohol.
Yeah.
What is that escape? What's that new healthy escape that you go to now?
Do you want to answer? I love being creative. I like to draw. I like to write. I love to write. That is my addiction. I think just being creative is just one of those things that I immerse myself in. Being a parent also is one of my biggest addictions as well. Like, I love being a parent. I love being an aunt. I love being a godmom.
I think you like nurturing too.
I am
She likes to like
nurturer.
home things.
Yeah.
Make things feel
like,
loved.
Yeah. Come here, let me cuddle you.
And writing, her addiction with writing's
I love to write. I've been writing for so many years. I just write. I write poetry. Never done anything with it. I've written books. I've never published. It's just like my files of books are just crazy.
And was this book that you released, was this through a publishing company? Did you do it all yourself?
I did it all myself.
No
because,
way.
you know what's so funny? I was told that it couldn't come to light. Like, I've asked many people, like, hey, I want to write a mom book on how to not gentle parent, because I just feel like it's a stupid term. It's just parenting with boundaries, respect, and empathy. Those are the 3 recipes of raising children. But I was told that, like, I don't think that you'll be able to do it. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. You don't know me.
And you did it.
And I did.
That's
and
amazing.
it's done really good numbers. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. I was like, wow.
Would you ever write a book about like your story, like the drugs, the adopt? Like, would you write a book about that?
I would, because my journals, I feel like, write a book of its own.
I would read the book.
I would read
the
it
book.
too.
No, I'm so invested right now. I'm like, I would read the book. I'd watch the movie too. I'd watch the whole Netflix documentary too, and the 10-part series with like 10 episodes, each 45 minutes long. I'd watch it.
You know what? I would too. If it wasn't me, I would watch it.
Who would play you in the? Wait, who would play your mom in the movie?
I would say Gabrielle Union.
I knew you were gonna say that.
They look just like her or Queen Latifah. I feel like
Let's go.
I feel like yes.
And
girl.
I have been writing a biography about Queen Latifah too. Like,
I think that needs to happen. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I don't know I wouldn't even know how to start, but if I put my mind to it, I could think of how to do it.
Okay, I have another question. And I'm
These two.
I'm like,
These two.
Wait, no. Did you have one more question?
No, I don't think
Here,
so.
your
I don't want
turn.
to cut you off because you had like so many. You
Are we
said you
even-
had 6.
Hold on, are we even here?
Honestly, the whole audience is wondering where I've gone.
We just want to know when the Netflix documentary comes
Yeah,
out.
I want to know. And if you did write a book, would it be Danielle or would you put someone else's name in it?
I wouldn't put my name. I'll put my fake name.
What's your fake name?
What's your fake name? Samantha.
That's your fake. You have a fake name.
No, so my fake name was my fake name when I would give it to customers, because you wasn't allowed to give any of the customers your real name.
Oh, okay.
So Samantha was mine. Yeah.
You
A
know
lot
what?
of people knew me as Sam.
No way.
Yeah.
Was that all? So when you have a fake name working in one of those clubs, does all the staff use that name too? They don't even know your real name.
The staff knows your name, but
Oh,
they
they
also
do.
know your stage name and your fake name.
Got it.
Thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this episode of Unplanned. In case you've been living under a rock, you probably know that I have ADHD, and I actually got my diagnosis by setting up a virtual doctor's appointment through ZocDoc.
We've used it for several different types of doctor's appointments, though. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. You can even get same-day appointments, which we have actually taken advantage of before.
Yes, I actually did a same-day appointment on the day that I was advised to get checked out for my concussion.
They have more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health to primary care to urgent care and so much more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance and who are located nearby, so you can find a good fit for any medical need you may have. And you can also find ones that are highly rated by verified patients. It's honestly a really great user experience.
For something that can be overwhelming, like booking a doctor's appointment, it is so convenient just to do it from your phone. I use ZocDoc and you should too, so stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/unplanned to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/unplanned. ZocDoc.com/unplanned.
So I worked at a very upscaled club.
Okay.
And they were phenomenal. They were, if you got intoxicated and wasn't able to drive, or they knew that you were intoxicated, they would make sure that you had a limo service.
Okay.
But we also did monthly meetings. We also did weigh-ins, and we did etiquette classes and things like that. So we learned how to perform not only on stage, but while we are talking to the consumer. So we knew exactly how to make people feel comfortable just to give you money instead of just be like, oh. It wasn't very always sexual. It was, mimicking body language and phrasing words and things like that. What's exciting for you? Things like that.
Got it.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. It wasn't just like, ooh, daddy, ooh, give me a minute. But it was more of a mental game.
Huh.
But the club that I worked at was amazing.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's good. I'm surprised they had weigh-ins.
Yeah. So we did have weigh-ins.
Why are you weighing?
Because you wasn't allowed to be heavy.
Wow.
Oh, so if you get over a certain weight, they wouldn't let you dance.
Yeah, or you wasn't allowed to drink.
Oh my gosh, because like the calories in it.
Mm-hmm.
They would so they would want the dancers to drink so that they would do crazier stuff, or
no,
what?
they would prefer you to be sober.
Oh, they would.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So like if you were too drunk, they didn't want sloppy drunks anywhere. They didn't want you like causing chaos because you're intoxicated. Or
So why allow
like that.
alcohol? Why allow the dancers to drink alcohol?
Because it's a social thing. Then they want you to be able to have control over your intake of alcohol.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when you're in the champagne room, they'll give you ginger ale instead of champagne. They'll spike your shot. I mean, we all had code words with our bartenders.
Okay.
So we knew exactly. Or if we wore bands, certain bands would indicate, hey, I'm not drinking tonight. Give me fake alcohol.
That's so interesting.
Sorry. Did the weigh-ins ever like get to you mentally? No.
Desensitized again.
Did they get to the other girls?
Probably, yeah.
That's tough.
Was that a big conversation with the other dancers about weight? Like, oh, I'm this weight. I need to be this weight. Oh, I'm eating too much.
I'm pretty sure, but it wasn't like in my circle. Mm-hmm. So my circle is like, we're getting to the gym then. Mm-hmm. We're going out. Everybody's meeting at 9 a.m. to go to the gym, group gym. Yeah, then that's what we're doing.
Like, did you personally ever do anything to make sure you didn't like go overweight? Like, did you have an eating disorder or like anything like that?
No, I always met my quota. Mm-hmm. I was always very thin until like I think 30 something. I just was like,
yeah.
I'm not. That just sounds really arrogant, but yeah, I always kind of met my quota.
Mm-hmm. What would you say to a girl who's interested in doing that? What would you say to them? They come to you, maybe they're 17 like you were at the time.
At 17 years.
Or let's say 18. Let's say 18. They're a legal adult now. What would you say to that girl, that 18-year-old girl that's like, I'm interested in doing this?
It's happened. And I'll just ask them the same questions. Like, why do you want to do this? What's your end game? Do you have goals is this permanent? Is this a lot of girls go in there thinking, hey, I'm just going to do it for XYZ, only 6 months because I want this and that. And then they get swooped up in the industry. It's like, this money it's so hard to get out because the money is so easy. It could be easy if you know the game. But I would always tell them, don't give up a day job or a goal or a hobby more so, because it's just easy to get swept up. I wouldn't say that it's a bad industry if you have the right mentality. Mm-hmm. Like if you go in there thinking, oh, I just need attention from men, I want quick fix, I'm already an addict, I have this, I wouldn't suggest that. But if you really do have an end goal, I would just try to teach you as much as I can. But I don't know, I wouldn't suggest it for my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
How would that make you feel?
If Thyri wanted to dance at her grown age, I would support her, but I would question her. Like, why do you want to when I feel like I've given her a lot of tools to make money without taking your clothes off. And not taking your clothes off is okay if you guys, anybody that's doing it. But I wouldn't want my daughter to do it.
I understand.
What do you want for your daughter?
I want her to be successful and to continue to build on her empire, because you were meant for greatness. She really was. She was meant for greatness.
And when you say successful, what is success?
Happiness.
Is money happiness?
Is money happiness?
For me, I like to shop, of course. Shopping makes me happy, but money can't buy all things.
Isn't it crazy how there's so many like really depressed rich people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rich now, and not with money, but like with love, support, family, everything that, you know, I would beg for if I was rich and I was like lonely
it's
with
true.
money.
Yeah.
I have a question. Did you feel like you missed out like at all with my childhood? Like, do you feel like you were active? Do you feel like you lost some years or times?
That's a good question. See, I can only tell from my perspective. I can't really answer fully, because you would have the answers that you're actually seeking. Me personally, you went on vacations. I could say all the things that I could say this frivolous stuff. Like, I took you shopping every week. You went to 5-star restaurants. You had a penthouse. You had your own, like, you went to great schools. You had this. You were on vacations. You did this.
Right.
I don't feel like I came up short in those areas, and then I showed up mentally, I think. But I can't answer those questions, honey.
Well, me either. No, I can. You were there for me. I know you were. I just want to see what you would ask.
Wholeheartedly. I can say from my perspective.
No.
Yeah.
At what point did you introduce your now wife to Thyri?
Oh, she knew her before I did. It's
No
my
way.
sister.
She was my best friend.
What?
Tina is my sister's best friend.
Okay.
And they've been friends for years before. Like, I've known Tina, but I didn't know Tina until I started working with her. And then that's when we were like, chitty chitty bang bang.
Were you aware when you were pregnant with Thyri that you liked women?
So I have always dibbled and dabbled with women. You cannot say that to my wife because she wants to be the only woman. So I've known from a very young age, like, my family always knew that I was very spiritual and free about that. So no, it's always been women, men. But
And Danielle, I found it so fascinating. You said in an interview that Thyri came out to you before you came out to her.
Yes, when she was little.
Yeah.
Walk me through how that happened.
With me finding out that she was, or me telling her like I was.
I guess both, because did she come out to you the same day you came out to her?
No. So the way that she came out to me was,
There she goes.
I already knew they were messing with each other because
Talk
I
about
was
Tina.
snooping
You were
snooping through their phone.
She's a snooper.
I am. I'm nosy, and I found a picture of them kissing, and I was like, oh. Ooh, okay. So I went to her.
I feel like this is pretty solid evidence.
Yeah, and I was like, if you guys want to date, like just tell me. Like, if you're happy, and I love that. And that's literally all. She was like, she just hugged me. But me, when I came up to her, I literally was just like, Mom, I have a crush on Millie Bobby Brown, and I love Millie Bobby Brown. I was like,
To this
that's
day.
gonna be my girlfriend. I love her, and that's literally.
Yeah, and I was like, do you like her like a girl? Like, I was like, do you like her as a girlfriend? Or like, do you like her as like, ooh,
I
you like
like her.
And she was like, I like her. I was like,
Butterflies.
noted. And yeah, that's what she said. She was like butterflies, and I was like,
Was it the
Noted.
season 1 look that got you of Stranger Things?
With her bald head and all that. I loved it. I loved it.
I think it was before.
It
was before that.
I liked her, I think it was like back, like her hair back. I'm not sure what it was on Stranger Things, but I was like, that's my girl. I like her.
How did you create that atmosphere, like, in your relationship? Like, I guess goes for both of you, since you both came out to each other, where that was like a dialogue that felt natural and comfortable to have. Like, I'm sure that's a bigger question than like you can even probably put into like a couple sentences, but
I don't know. she was always like my best friend. So I think it was I've always talked to her about certain things where, I don't know. I just don't know. I just feel like I've always been very open with her.
I felt very safe.
But she didn't really fully 100% trust me until
I was like 15.
Until she was like 15.
Like I trusted her, but I didn't like, am I going to get in trouble if I like say something to her? I still had that like thought in the back of my head. I really didn't trust her until I told her about losing my virginity.
You didn't tell me about losing
She
your
found
virginity.
out. But
Oh, you didn't tell. So your mom found out.
I was terrified. But after
And
that,
how did she
But
react?
I knew.
she was hurt. And
It's not her.
no. She wasn't hurt that I did. She was hurt that I didn't tell her.
Yeah, because-
After she told me multiple times, if you do, or you're thinking about it,
Let
come
me
to
know.
me so I can, prepare you, get you everything
Protect
that you need,
you.
protect you, whatever. And I didn't.
And how did you find out about all
She came
this?
home and I'm telling you.
No,
I'm telling you. She came home one day and she was walking funny.
I was not.
She was walking funny. And
How she really found out.
how I really, really knew that I was not wrong about that.
They got me one of those just like cameras that move, like
Yeah, one of those
digital
cameras.
photo albums, and Tina was hooking my phone up to the computer to put onto the photo thing, and there was pictures of like
Of some dude?
my ex-boyfriend and I, and Tina was like, I'm telling your mom. I was like, don't tell her, and she still told her, and I was like,
But I already knew. But
You did.
It was only like inappropriate pictures, but it was only. But we still at this time we would always sit down at the dinner table and have dinner. And I was like, Thyri, answer me this and don't lie to me. Are you sexually active? And she just was like,
and I laughed a little bit. I was like,
and I was like, and she was like, and I was like, okay, so we're going to go to the doctors and we're just going to like
get on birth control.
like-
And after that, I tell her a little too much.
Yeah, way too much.
Was that whole story before or after you came out to your mom?
Oh, after.
Yeah, that was after.
Oh, that was after. Okay.
Yeah. But it was like, I feel like she's like our wave of communication where I made her feel like she was always comfortable to tell me that she liked girls or she was bi. I think that it was because I was always comfortable with speaking to her about conversations.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't like in-depth conversations where it's like, oh, I did this, I did that. It was just like, how was your day? Like little conversations that
It built trust.
Yeah, it's kind of like what's your favorite character? What's your goal? What things like that. I
You're
think
interested in
yeah,
like who
I'm
I
interested.
actually am
Yeah, and
as
I
a
never
human,
really judged
not your
her.
kid.
Why did you feel like you needed to keep that a secret since your mom was being so
Exactly.
open
Thank
with
you.
you? Like,
Thank
what
you.
was it that went through your mind as that 15-year-old that made you think I need to hide all this?
I think just being a teenager, and even though I know she kept saying like, you can tell me, you won't get in trouble, there was just something in me that's like, you're gonna get grounded, you're not supposed to be doing this, like you're not allowed to do this, Thyri, like don't do it. And I was just terrified, and I don't know why. I really do not know why. I just think it was just a teenage instinct of like not telling your mom that, you know.
I think it's just natural and
It's
it's
natural.
okay and it's fine. I had those questions so many times. I'm like, why
But
would
why?
you think that you had to lie?
Because I didn't. There was no reason for me to. But
I would
did.
like to think that it's because your other friends were hiding it
That's
from your
also
friends.
true. A lot
It's
of my
like-
friends were terrified to tell their parents that they were doing anything. They told her
Yeah, they told me.
before I even told her that I was doing those things.
Yeah,
They
so I
were
think
very
it-
open with her. So I was just like, if they can't tell their mom, I'm not telling my mom.
Yeah, like she snuck out one time and she really did not have to tell. Like she did not have to sneak out. She got grounded because she didn't tell me.
But I snuck out.
I was
How-
like, you don't have to lie about sneaking out, girl.
And while we're on this topic, how did you approach those conversations with Thyri? Because there are an infinite amount of schools of thought on, sexuality when it comes to teenagers, especially because, teenagers are developing sex drive at 13,
Very-
maybe even younger than 13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yet their brains aren't developed until they're in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
So how did you approach that conversation with your daughter?
So with her, with the bisexual or curiosity, I just was like, well, like, do you not want to date boys at all when you get older? And she was like, no, I like boys too. And I just was like, okay, well, when we cross those bridges, just let me know what direction and I could support you however you want me to. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I mean, she's always just came to me besides having sex. But when it came to actually having conversations with her, it was just a sit down. I wasn't trying to cut her off whenever she would speak.
Yeah.
I would listen wholeheartedly. Mm-hmm. If I did feel uncomfortable with her answer, I would just sit there with my thoughts and process them, because like, I don't want to make her feel like she's saying something wrong, because it's her emotions, it's her feelings.
Yeah.
And then when it came to like her sneaking out and her getting caught, it was you're going to sit down. I have to talk to you. I always cool down before I approached her with any kind of discipline. I always cool off at school, cool off at work. It doesn't matter. Till this day, I do not approach her if I'm upset, because I know I can come across aggressive.
Yeah.
And I know she's sensitive. So I know that I can't approach her with any kind of agitation in my voice. So
that's super wise. I think a lot of parents make the mistake of trying to be a parent when they aren't in a good state of mind.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why would you have a conversation that could really affect your child when you might be angry? Maybe there's something completely unrelated to the topic that is, you know, keeping you in a negative state, and you don't want to take that out on your kid.
Nope. I don't do it with anybody. I don't do it with my clients. I never did it with my bosses. I don't do it with my wife. I don't do it with my friends. I don't do it with my family. So why would I do it with my child?
Yeah.
Waiting to come out to your daughter until she came out to you, was that influenced by anything other than just you wanting to keep something private? Like, what influenced that decision?
So I didn't purposely keep it away from my daughter. I just didn't think that anything was really going to come from the relationship with Tina. And so, not saying that I didn't think that anything was going to come from it, but I didn't know if she was going to be a predominant feature in my life for long periods of time. So that was the reason why. But Tina was my first relationship with a female that I was starting to grow feelings for. So
Had you brought other partners around?
I did.
her before? Okay.
I did have an ex, yeah. Well, two.
Two.
3, 4, 5. No, two.
Was that something that you were nervous about at the time, or
With Tina?
No. With other partners, like previous ones, with a child, like.
Not necessarily, because I did trust these individuals. I shouldn't have, because one was very abusive. I should have, but that was when I was in an addictive period of my life. But they always treated Thyri with respect. So I never really thought much about that.
Did you think it would ever like affect me?
Yeah. And that's why he's gone. Well, other reasons why he's gone, but
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, he's gone. Well, my ex is gone because he was just abusive, and he put his hands on me, and she seen the blood, and I was like, this is it. This is that. So I packed all of our stuff, and we moved. To
It's
never
like
see
every
him again.
time I walk into the room where she sees me, she's like, all right, I got you. We're done. We're done.
We're done here.
We're done.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. Would you ever like change any
No.
of your past?
Mm-mm.
Not one singular thing.
No.
Why do you say that?
Because I wouldn't be able to be the person that I am. I know it sounds cliche, but I like every milestone, every fall, everything made me the person that I am today. Like even the car incident, I hate it. I wish it never happened, but would I change it? No. Because what if that was the instance where I kept on doing perks and then I OD'd?
Right.
Like, no, that needed to happen. It needed to happen. God knew that it needed something like that to happen.
Yeah.
To where you wasn't physically harmed, I wasn't physically harmed, and I was able to still get on my 2 feet and keep on pushing. Like if that didn't happen, what if the next time I went to work and I just popped 30 perks and then I died?
Yeah.
And then I left you all alone. So no, I don't regret anything.
Was Tina the first person that you ever married?
Yeah, she is my one and only.
And what was it about Tina that made you realize that she was the one?
I mean, a lot of things. I mean, Tina is a force to be reckoned with. Like, she is just an incredible person where she brings life to anybody. Like, she's just funny. She's naturally funny. She's smart. She's curious. And she brings a piece of home that I would always strive to be. You know what I mean? Like, she looks the way that she does, but she's very sensitive. She is just warm. I mean, she's rough. She is very rough, but she's also very soft and warm. Like, she's like comforting.
She the yin to your yang.
She is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I miss you. I just do. I miss her all the time.
She loves her.
Who's funnier, Tina or
Me.
your mom?
Don't
Danielle.
say it.
Me.
No,
You're
not
the funniest.
included. No, she's not.
I am the funniest.
Out of the three of you, you're the
Me.
funniest.
I'm the funniest, but out of them, okay, my
So
mom.
there's a different-
No, my mom's funny when it comes
Goofy.
to immature things. Like if someone's falling, and she can make a joke, that's my girl. Tina is mean funny. So
She's mean funny?
Yeah.
Like she's
Yeah.
not even trying to be funny, but she's funny?
yes.
You
yeah,
think
people
that it's funny, but I'm just like, she's not joking.
she's not
dude.
joking. That's
gosh.
funnier for me.
Yeah, because we know she's being very serious, and people think it's because she looks so innocent
When she's saying it.
and I'm like, she's dead serious. She don't like you, and my wife does not have a filter
She's
at all.
very.
She's not composed or whatever anything. If we were in the interview right now, and I said 5, she'd be like, "You're 5. It needs to be said. Like,
Yeah.
you can't sugarcoat that, Sandy." I'm like,
Do you
"But
keep
they
her off
grew-
of...
They grew. It doesn't matter. The story needs to stay on course. Your mom was a dick. I'm like, oh, okay.
Do you
hard.
keep your wife off social media because she has no filter?
No, I want her to be on social media.
Oh, you
but
do? Okay.
Yes, I would love it. They love Tina. They love Tina so much. And I understand why, but she does not like to be on social media.
Okay.
So I don't force it. And when she's like, hey, you want to do content you want to do content together? I'm like, fuck yeah. Absolutely. Let's do some content together.
Normally, you see Tina in the comments.
Yeah, Tina is.
She goes hard in the comment section.
She's hard.
I'm
Those
like,
hate
Tina, one
comments.
day you
She's
are-
on it.
You're not a fighter. Girl, please calm your tone.
She is crazy in the comments.
Yeah,
I don't even
she's-
have to say it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like someone just said that I was this. She's already on it. I'm
She's
like,
like,
Tina commented 5 minutes ago. And I just said it.
Tina
She's
does-
crazy.
Tina does not play about us at all.
Well, I have really enjoyed talking to you both
Y'all are
today.
so fun.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
for
you.
I just want to hang
sharing-
out with you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to go to bed.
I love that you guys are just going out and like.
Yeah,
hanging
we're just
out.
like in and out.
Having
We want to
fun.
go to in and out.
Yes.
And you really seem like best friends. It
We
truly,
are.
like,
my girl.
when we met you today, I was like, is this real? Is this just an act? No, it's clear that you both, like, truly care about each other so much.
Oh, absolutely.
And I love it. If you enjoyed today's interview, definitely go check out Thyri on social. Go check out Danielle on social. I know you guys are both big on TikTok, Instagram. You also have your book, Danielle.
Yes.
Where's the best place for people to connect with you all on social media?
You can connect on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all under Danielle Sylvester.
You can connect on, what am I on? TikTok and Instagram and Facebook under Thyri Frazier.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And you can purchase Not a Doctor, Just a Mom book on Amazon.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you for having us.
Go follow them, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Thank you.
Yay.
Bye.